After learning that he married me only because I sounded like his childhood sweetheart, I immediately blocked all his contact information and sent him a divorce agreement. But I didn't expect that he would stop me downstairs at my company today. As I walked alone, a sleek black Maybach pulled up beside me. The tinted window rolled down, and there he was, Xavier, looking sharp as always. His voice was as cold as ever. "Get in the car," he said, his eyes meeting mine briefly. I hesitated, torn between walking away and addressing the inevitable. "Did you get the divorce papers? We can finalize it tomorrow if you have time," I finally said. His expression didn't change. "I have all the time in the world to wait here for you," he replied, lighting a cigarette. His indifference stung, but I knew better than to make a scene in front of my coworkers. Grinding my teeth, I climbed into the car. "What do you want now?" I asked sharply, wanting to end this as quickly as possible. "Stop this nonsense," he said, his tone both impatient and commanding. His words didn't surprise me. Xavier rarely backed down, but I had made my decision. "I'm serious, Xavier. I want a divorce," I said firmly, staring straight ahead. Silence filled the car as he drove me home. When we arrived, he lit another cigarette and asked one last time, "Are you sure about this?" I didn't answer. I stepped out of the car, but before entering my building, I turned around. "From now on, let's act like strangers," I said, my voice steady, but my heart trembling. His face darkened as he watched me disappear inside. That night, I barely slept. My dreams were a swirling mess of memories, Xavier's mocking smile when I proposed, and the image of him holding another woman. His voice from my dream haunted me. "Don't compare yourself to Eliza. I'll never love you." The ringing phone jolted me awake. Half asleep, I mumbled, "Who is it?" Xavier's voice came through, cold and detached. "Come to the office. Your papers are ready." Still groggy, I hesitated before replying. "I'll be there soon," I said quietly, ending the call. I had to move forward, no matter how much it hurt. When I arrived at his office, I wasn't prepared to see her, Eliza. She was seated casually, her white dress pristine, her hair long and perfect. The scent of her perfume filled the room. I remembered how Xavier had once rejected the dinners I brought him, yet here he was sharing cake with her. Eliza turned, surprised to see me. For a brief moment, I noticed our similarities, our blonde hair, our white dresses, even our demeanor. A bitter realization hit me. Xavier hadn't just married me because of my voice resembling hers. He had shaped me into her shadow. I ignored the ache in my chest and said, "I'm here for my things." Eliza approached me with a polite smile, extending her hand. "Nice to meet you. I'm Eliza Scott, Xavier's friend." I forced a smile. "Winona Moore. Nice to meet you too." The tension in the room was suffocating. Xavier broke the silence, calling me into his office. Without glancing at him, I asked, "Where are my papers?" He handed them over, his grip lingering for a moment. "Why don't you sit and read them first?" "There's no need," I replied, signing them without hesitation. I shoved his copy back and turned to leave, but he grabbed my wrist. Startled, I yanked away, knocking the papers to the floor. "Don't touch me," I snapped. Eliza picked up the papers, her eyes lighting up when she realized what they were. "You dropped these," she said sweetly. I muttered a curt thanks and left, desperate to escape. Later that day, Eliza approached me at a cafe. I agreed to meet, mostly out of curiosity. She apologized, but I couldn't see any sincerity in her eyes.